tonight, and as Apollo was saying, this particular incident happening at Labor Day's Eve, and well, gentlemen, it is not one of those good evenings to really talk about. As Apollo says, he was a leader to his people and being looked out. I don't know if any of you has interacted with him or knows him personally. I'll start with you, Hesbon. Even as you do your introduction, just a moment of some words to the late Member of Parliament.
Thank you so much, and I would wish to take this opportunity to give my condolences to the people of Kasipul-Kabondo on the death of Honorable Charles Ong'ondo. It is very, very unfortunate that it is happening when we are about to celebrate the Labor Day tomorrow, and considering that on his own rights he's a worker, having been elected to work for people of Kasipul-Kabondo. Personally, I've interacted with him on a personal level, in his own constituency. Yeah, when we had some functions that brought us together. And so I found him, as it has been explained, a soft-spoken person, but very focused. So I want to take this opportunity to say that it is very unfortunate, and even the kind of death that he has met is not the death that any person would wish for a person of his own standards to meet. Thank you.
Odipo, the same.
Thank you. Indeed, it is a sad evening for the Republic and the people of Kasipul-Kabondo. It is quite unfortunate that an MP who woke up this morning to go and serve his people right now is lying cold in a morgue. It is something that we must condemn, and we will request the investigating authorities to do their work thoroughly and bring those criminals who shot the MP dead. I've not interacted with him personally, but I've seen him. He's somebody who's focused, soft-spoken, and even in his own constituency, I've traveled. There's a lot of work that he was doing. So it is quite unfortunate for the people of Kasipul-Kabondo. And my sincere condolences to them. We are praying that God will give them strength to overcome the loss. Thank you.
Mr. Kulema.
Okay. To me, I want to take this chance first to send my condolences from the Boda team. Compared that the incident happened, the the motorbike was involved. So I want to tell the nation that, despite that the Boda was involved, they should not take the entire sector as bad people. They should not brand us as bad people. And I will advise or request the authority to do thorough investigation to bring the culprits on board. My condolences to Kasipul people.
Thank you very much, Alex Kulema. He's the Vice Chair of Boda Association in the country. First Speaker Hesbon Etieno. He is the Deputy Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers. And in the middle, Nicholas Odipo, Chair, Kenya National Union of Medical Laboratory. Gentlemen, we now switch gears into a conversation tonight. The plight of laborers, and the three of you and so many that you do represent out here are laborers in the country. Tomorrow we mark the 60th anniversary of the International Workers' Day in the country, all the way from the 1st of May of 1964 until now. 60 years is quite, there's so many years to that. Mr. Hesbon, allow me to start with you. Do you feel proud when we talk about 60 years, and as you reflect on all these Labor Days for a country and being a Kenyan and being a worker yourself, do you feel proud on the successes that have been there?
First of all, I want to say that when we think about the genesis of Labor Day as a day that workers globally commemorate the Day of the Workers, The genesis itself is not a very good day that we could say that the genesis is out of a celebration mood, because we know that it is generated out of an industrial action that workers took in the 18th century, way back in America, and they were fighting for space and their rights, and more so it was to do with the working hours. And out of it, out of a cool or a demonstration, it became violent. And out of that violence, it developed to what today we celebrate as Labor Day. So it means that the genesis is something to do with an upheaval or an outcry that the workers had. And so out of that, then the workers of the global workers, the workers of the world, felt that now, come 1st of May, people should come together as workers. They look at the challenges that they face together as workers, and they reflect upon them. And if there are any gains, they can also discuss about the gains. But mostly it is to think about themselves as workers and what brings them together, and how they can mitigate the challenges that come up as workers.
Right.
That is why, as we look forward towards every other celebration, we have talked about Kenya celebrating us from 1964.
Yeah.
And if you count 1964 to date, it's about 60 years.
Yes.
So if we look at it, always every other year, we look at what better thing can be made, what pronouncement can give the workers a spirit of hope. In terms of gains. That is why people would talk about that our Labour's Day speech, if it ends, it should not end without some pronouncement.
Yes.
Good pronouncement of hope, of courage, and of an increment that shows that there is a recognition of workers.
Right.
So I think it is a good day to reflect upon the efforts of all the workers. And if we think about the whole world, everybody is a worker. Every other person is a worker, including the employer himself is a worker.
Okay.
So we want to look at what gain is there, or what brings together the worker and the employer, the owner of capital. What brings them together to think about them being an equal player in the industry, and so that they can share the gain.
Right.
Thank you.
Have you put anything to smile about 60 years later?
It is a mixed reaction, where partly there's some gains, partly there's a lot of loss. Number one is legislation. We have a lot of legislations that try to protect the worker. Unfortunately, most of these legislations are not followed properly when it comes to now providing an umbrella or a protection to the worker. They are being violated most of the time. And as Kenya celebrate Labor Day tomorrow, we need to reflect how to protect the worker through these legislations. Because legislations, they cannot be effected if they are just in paper and they are not enforced. So as we celebrate tomorrow, what we want as workers is that as much as we celebrate, let us look at those legislations and try to enforce them. Because if we don't enforce them, there are a lot of workers who are suffering out there, from the casual laborers to contracted workers, to the permanent employees of the government, permanent employees of particular companies. We must all look at those legislations and try to make them work for us.
Okay.
So in terms of legislation, I think we are very much okay.
Right.
In terms of enforcement, still we are not very much okay.
And you're raising a very interesting point. We'll be listening to what President William Ruto said in 2023 in just a bit, but then before we get to what President William Ruto said at that time, Mr. Kulema, your sector is one of the biggest employers in this country. Actually, according to the Boda Safety Association of Kenya, estimates that about 1.6 million riders in the country, 1.3 million of them being young people. So this really goes to show how much the boda sector has actually employed so many young people. And the question would be, 60 years later as the sector, do you really see any milestones? Do you see anything to smile about, really? Are you hopeful for tomorrow?
Okay, thanks for the chance. Actually, on my side, I can say we have nothing to smile about. Because despite that, the boda...
Nothing completely?
About 30% smile. But 70% we are not smiling.
Okay.
Because you can see, we are talking about billions. There's a report written by Boom. The report was saying the bodas are contributing 6.6. Let me read it here. I have the report with me.
Yes, please.
So that I can be sure. 660 billion annually.
All right.
We are contributing. And also we are contributing 4.4 GDP. But if you compare, if you see a life of a boda, and you compare it with billions we are speaking about, now you can imagine we are contributing billions, but we ourselves, our members are poor. Why are we poor? Because the billions we are contributing, some are going to government pocket through high tax, some are going to these lenders companies. They come, they give you a motorbike, you pay 1 or 3%. Some are going to online app. You see, you find a boda guy working 24 hours. The service is his, but at the end of the day, he's paying for every trip he goes. You see, and so we find at the end of the day, when he pays loans, you deduct every amount, every trip he goes through online. At the end of the day, this guy go home with at least 100 or 200 bob. So you see, at the end of the day, this guy is making billions, but in real sense, he doesn't have those billions.
But
billions.
Does the boda sector have, the people working it, do they have a saving culture?
Savings?
Yes, do they have a saving culture? And just to be, even as you answer that, today, President William Ruto was in a function and he was saying that he has seen an impressive, achievement. To say that through the NSSF, the National Social Security Fund, it has saved 320 billion in 60 years. But then he was saying between 2023 all the way to 2025, the fund has been able to save, and people have been able to save 280 billion. When you look at fund yote kwa NSSF and what even for the boda sector has, do people in the boda do they save regularly?
Of course, they try to save through chamas, those small chamas. But at the end of the day, unapata amepeleka kwa school fees. Sasa unaona savings ile anafanya ni peanut. But unasikia we are talking about billions. These guys are making billions. But where are these billions? If we regulate this sector, na tukuja na ile idea mzuri ya kwamba ile kitu mtu wa bodaboda anapeana isikue too much, unaona, asipeane sana. If kama tumemletea lenda wa kumpea pikipiki, these yellow guys ambao wanakuja invest in our country, they should be regulated so that akipeana hiyo motorbike, apeana ile interest mzuri. 1 or 3% by day sauna haya, za pikipiki 1200, this guy analipa mpaka 1500. Hiyo ni bei ya Probox. Alafu una expect aje mtu atatusaidia namna gani? Hiyo pikipiki akimaliza kuilipa, value yake imereduce, alafu inamalizia kwenda. Like tomorrow unaona sasa watu watakuwa wanaenda holiday, but bodaboda anafanya kazi. Bodaboda is one of the essential services people. Utawapata kwa jua hapo hivyo, wewe utamtuma aenda kubebe kuku. Alafu you see hao watu wakati wanaenda hizo holidays wanapeana offer kwa clients wale wanatumia hizo bodaboda. But in real sense ni kwamba pikipiki sio huyo mtu huyo client, pikipiki ni yangu mimi individual. Sasa unapata for example kama distance ilikuwa ni ya shilingi 100, wewe umepeana offer na hujaniambia, unaona mimi I'm the stakeholder but hujaniuliza, umenikata ndaenda na shilingi 40. Kufika jioni wewe unafurahisha ule mteja anasema your application inafanya vizuri. But sasa in real sense mimi ndio naumia, fuel ni yangu, nimefuel. You see spare part ni mimi. Sasa unapata kwamba inasukuka tu namna hivi. Ile pikipiki ikikuja namna hii, despite that hiyo mabilioni natengeneza, mtu asipia hapa atatukata, serikali kuja tukate kwa mafuta, itukate kwa hiyo ushuru ya kuimport, alafu mwenye anamalizia kutupea kwa loan tena atukate, alafu na hiyo mahitaji mengine kidogo. So mtu wa bodaboda hakuna siku hiyo bilioni itamfaidi kabisa.
Sawa.
Yes.
Kulema shikilia tu hapo, and points to be raised, will be getting more from our viewers. So tupigie simu 0795 045 864 as a worker right in the country. Do you see anything to smile about 60 years later? This is the Daily Report. We'll be right back.